Welcome to the Dynasty Dugout Show, a podcast covering all things minor league baseball. Get a front row seat to the action with everything you need to know about the future stars of Major League Baseball. And now, here's your host, Chris Clegg.
Hello, and welcome back to the show. It's Wednesday, June the 18th, and we're here to talk some minor league baseball. Got a lot of good action coming your way. A lot of big performances yesterday. I was at a game last night. Again, saw Greensboro. So saw some Pirates prospects. And a lot of these guys I've seen in spring training over the years. Spent a lot of time in Bradenton. But again, it's always good to see those guys, including Konnor Griffin, who was really good. And a lot of other guys will break down as well. But first, before we get to the show, it's brought to you by Connect Roasters. Connect Roasters is Ian Happ's coffee company. Make an incredibly smooth blend of coffee. Go check out their website, connectroasters.com. They have a lot of good things to offer, including now canned coffee. So go check that out. Get your gold glove blend, Ian Happ specialty blend. Buy one bag, get one 50% off today. Also, we're proud to partner with Chinook Seedery, who is sponsoring the College World Series as Coastal Carolina and Louisville are about to play. Coastal, one went away from the finals, which is awesome. Great story. Obviously, they won back in 2016, but a non-power 4 school is always fun to see make a run, and Coastal is doing that. But Chinook has great seeds. You can get those seeds 10% off using the code DynastyDugout, ChinookSeedery.com. All right, we'll talk about some live looks from some of the players that I saw last night. I'll be seeing Greensboro and Greenville again today. Obviously, I've seen a lot of Greenville, but again, we will talk about some of these guys that I saw. Let's start with Konnor Griffin off the top, because Griffin's a fascinating talking point. Everybody loves Konnor Griffin. Everybody thinks Konnor Griffin's a great player, and they should, obviously, because Konnor Griffin is a stud. Now, this kid is yoked. He's 6'5". He's extremely jacked, and he runs really well. Just an incredible, incredible athlete. There was a moment where Franklin Arias is on second base, and Griffin's at shortstop behind him. Griffin makes Franklin Arias look like a little kid. Like, he's big and broad shoulders, strong, thick neck, like dude's just built, but it hasn't affected his athleticism. He runs super well. Like, it's an impressive athlete, an impressive build. Like, he's what they look like if you chiseled him out. Konnor Griffin's what a prospect should look like. But again, Griffin, he didn't do anything spectacular. He had a single on the day. He walked in his first at bat, but here's what I saw out of Griffin. A very improved approach at the plate. Now, this was the biggest knock from evaluators early on in the season. The chase rate was high. The approach was questionable. And I kind of pushed back and said, I don't think the approach is that bad. You looked at, when you broke it down where he was swinging, the chase rate, where those pitches were, like, it's not necessarily a bad chase rate. And we've seen the chase rate dump and drop substantially. I saw an improved approach from the spring. I saw Griffin 4 or 5 games this spring. And what I saw from Griffin last night was him taking pitches that he was probably swinging at usually. So I don't know if this is by design, but I was impressed. He did not swing at a pitch outside the zone. So that was obviously of note. And he worked some close pitches and he controlled the zone. So like pitches that were close to the zone, like he probably could have swung at, but he fouled some close ones in the zone as well. So Griffin's approach looked good. I also saw him at shortstop. He's played some center, but he looked good at short, guys. There's good range. There's a good arm. He made some plays that, like, the range was exceptional. Like a pop-up that was in foul territory, like between third and left field. He ranged over and called off the other guys. Like, he commanded the field well. So when you look at Konnor Griffin as a whole, like, he is what they look like, in my opinion. This is a future number 1 prospect, because the power's off the charts. I mean, we're looking at a 9th percentile EV of like 108. That's what Roman Anthony is running. He has a max of like 114.5. Okay, that's insane. The kid just turned 19, by the way. He was going to be in this summer's draft. Like, he reclassified last year. So he was supposed to be drafted this summer. So it shows the insane skills and tools that Konnor Griffin has, and they're pretty impressive. I saw a lot of good things out of Konnor Griffin. Very excited about his prospects, and I'm ready to see him more this week, see how the approach looks, and if he can kind of maintain that. So definitely watching Griffin closely. What about Franklin Arias? Well, it's funny. Put out the lineups on social, and somebody commented, like, batting average really dropped. Like, yeah, he had a bad week last week. They traveled to Hudson Valley. It was actually the first time that Greenville's ever traveled by plane, is what I was told. So they drive everywhere. Hudson Valley's like a 14-hour drive from Greenville, so they flew there. And Arias struggled last week. I think he had 2 hits on the week. That was it. A lot of strikeouts. And the average dipped. Yeah, he was still hitting like 318 in high A, whatever. Still really good. But he starts off the game, 105 mile an hour home run, smoked over the green monster, hit the light pole. It came back in play. But it was a home run nonetheless. It was his hardest hit home run of the year. The others have been like 102, 101. So hardest hit home run. That was encouraging to see. And Arias also added a single. He waited back on a hanging breaking ball and just kind of floated it into center field over the shortstop's head for a base hit. Did strikeout swinging. We don't see that often from Franklin Arias because he's a really good contact hitter. I've kind of remained in the boat. Like, Franklin Arias is a really, really good contact hitter, plus contact skills. The EVs aren't quite there. The athlete's not quite there. He's a solid shortstop. Like, I don't think he's like a plus shortstop. He's fine at short. But it's a good player overall. So Franklin Arias, a very good player. I'm not ready to shove him up like among the elites. Like, I've seen him top 10 a lot of places. I mean, some respectable evaluators have him top 10. I'm just not there on Franklin Arias. And I think that's okay. If you think that I'm low on him, that's fine. I'll take the hits. I have him as a top 50 prospect. And I think that's a fair spot for somebody like this. So Franklin Arias, really, really good ball player. That's how I describe him, a ball player, but not like an elite hitter with power by any means. But this guy does have power. Johanfran Garcia, he has made it to Greenville. This is Yo Stenson's brother, by the way. He's built. He's not as athletic as Yo Stenson. He's a catcher, first off, and he's big, like very big, powerful frame. So Garcia last year, I thought he was going to break out. See him on the backfields in the spring, and it was like in 2024, I was like, man, this kid can swing it. He goes to Salem, and he gets hurt right off the bat, misses the entire year. So it took a full year to recover. But Garcia has some legit juice, and it's easy juice. Like, he smoked a double off the wall last night that nearly left the yard. He's definitely like a 20 runner, that's for sure. And you watch him run, it's like, okay, like, this dude don't run well at all, and that's fine. He's a catcher. Does he stick there? I don't know. But it's a big boy with a lot of pop. So Johanfran Garcia is actually a fun name. And I think that he's going to hit. I think the ball is really going to travel for him in the South Atlantic League. In the summer, it flies in Greenville. Other places, it flies. He has 3 home runs already in 64 plate appearances since coming back. He's hit really well since coming to Greenville, combined between his complex rehab stint and Greenville. He's got an 895 OPS, which is good. He has struck out a lot since coming to Greenville. That's something to watch. Didn't know some chase on breaking balls. So he got eaten up with some breaking balls, swung and missed. It's fine, but watch out for that. But also watch out for a lot of home runs from Johanfran Garcia. That's Johanfran. Now, on the flip side, on the Greensboro side, Esmerlyn Valdez has some juice. I mean, this is well documented. Like, he was in single A last year where they had public StatCast data. It was well documented that he had power. I saw him this spring, and he really caught my eye. Looked like he was on the verge of breaking out. Now, he's listed at 6'2", 181. He's substantially taller and stronger. He's bigger than 181. But this guy moves pretty well for somebody that's that big. And the power comes easy. He ran the balls to the warning track 3 times, and he nearly left the yard all 3 of those times. One of them was to deep center field. Another one was an easy pop-up, but to left to the green monster. It nearly left. Then he had another one to the opposite, to the right center gap. So 2 doubles on the day from Esmerlyn Valdez. Talk about the power. I think he actually led the Florida State League in home runs last year with 22 and 435 plate appearances. The Florida State League is a hard place to hit homers, but Valdez did. He has 16 and 270 plate appearances so far. Valdez has hit a ball up to 115. He can mash, and that was evident. Like, it was easy swings and easy power. Now, Last year, he struck out nearly 31% of the time. This year, it's down to 23.5%. So a notable jump in strikeout rate for Esmerlyn Valdez. So I think this kid's legit. He just turned 21. He's in high A, and he's fairly athletic. Like, he played the outfield. I thought he ran pretty well. He has played some first base, but I saw some hustle plays by him. I'm like, okay, for his size, he moves pretty well. So Esmerlyn Valdez improving the contact is notable, and the power is just off the charts. Like, this is plus power. And if he's even close to an average hitter, then suddenly Valdez is a legit profile. Like, this kid can swing it for sure. And it wouldn't be shocking to me if he flies up prospect rankings. I'm comfortable pushing him pretty heavily based on what I've seen in my live looks. So Esmerlyn Valdez, he's legit. I think that's somebody you can really, really bank on. So another Pirates prospect, Will Taylor. Taylor is interesting. He's smaller. He's like 5'9", 5'10", but he's a premium athlete. This kid went to Clemson. He played football and he played baseball. In high school, he was a quarterback, 3-time state champion, if I'm not mistaken. Columbia, South Carolina here, Dutch Fork High School. Pretty sure he's a 3-time state champion quarterback, maybe 4, if I'm not mistaken. And he was going to play receiver at Clemson. Now, the interesting thing is there was a team coming out of high school. Will Taylor had a deal to be taken in the top 10 of the draft. Now, I've got to look back. I don't remember if that was the 2021 cycle. I do want to confirm that, but I was told, 2021, I was told this deal was worth around $3 million to sign in the top 10. Taylor turns down the deal. He goes to Clemson. He tears his ACL his first football season. Sucks. Like, I think it affected him in a lot of ways. And ultimately, he decided then just to focus on baseball when he got healthy. He was fine. At Clemson, he was never a standout. His sophomore year was pretty good. 5 homers. He had a 10-12 OPS. He stole bags. Like, it was good stuff. And then last year, in his draft year, 945 OPS. And ultimately, the steals kind of ticked back. But he is a good runner. I think that's worth noting. He hasn't been efficient, though, this year. He's been caught quite often, but he's a quick runner. He's got to be more efficient on the base pass. He might be 70 run times, but he has 8 stolen bases on 14 attempts. That's not good. You can't be stealing when you're getting those kind of success rates. But Taylor has found some juice. He has 5 home runs this year. He started the year in Single A in Bradenton, and then he went to High A Greensboro last week. So 5 home runs on the year. That's encouraging. The biggest question is contact. The contact rates were bad early on with Will Taylor, but he all of a sudden is seeing them rise. So that's notable. You might see a high strikeout rate. You might look at the contact rate and be like, meh, I'm out. But they've been trending upward all year. Now, Taylor had this backside double that was hit very impressively. Like, he got a ball up and in. He smoked it to right field. And okay, so floor field is kind of Fenway dimensions, so it does get shorter in right, but he nearly left the yard out there in the corner to the opposite field. So that was pretty encouraging to me to watch him do that. There was a lot of ground balls, not some of the struggles with Taylor, but ultimately, like, this kid's an athlete. He's strong. Like, he can get to some pop when he wants to. The biggest question for me is, can Will Taylor utilize the speed on the base pass and be an efficient base stealer? We haven't seen that yet, so that'll be the question. He's moved off center field from where he was in Bradenton. Well, I'll say he's moved off. He's split time, left and center, so that'll kind of be interesting to see. Where does he settle? I don't know. I think he's fine in the field, but the speed does help. So when you've got that kind of speed, it helps out as long as you have decent reads. But Will Taylor, interesting prospect for sure. I need to take a quick break, and we will get back and hit on a few more, including one of the pitchers. I'm going to talk about Greenville's pitching. It was bad last night, but side note, we'll talk about Khristian Curtis of the Pirates and some other hitters right after the break. All righty. So Khristian Curtis he didn't start the game good at all. Right-handed pitching prospect for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He got obviously lit up early. He allowed the leadoff home run to Franklin Arias. But this was a 12th round draft pick out of Arizona State in 2023. He's tall, he's 6'5", so it's kind of a projectable frame. And you look at the numbers, you're like, yeah, they haven't been good this year. He's got a 5.51 ERA. He's got just a 23% strikeout rate and a 13% walk rate. So it ain't good. And you look at the box score last night, it wasn't good either. 3 earned, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 4 2/3. So not all that great. But I think it's important to remember that the Sal's really hitter friendly in a lot of places. Greensboro is a hitter's haven. So he has allowed some homers, but Greensboro, the ball flies. Greenville, the ball flies. Asheville, the ball flies. Those are where his home runs have come. So obviously worth noting, but the command has got to improve. Now, Curtis worked like 94 on the fastball most of the night. He did get up to 97, so that was kind of interesting. He's just turned 23, so he's still like fairly young. I don't say he's not young, but you get what I'm saying. He's not old by any means, but like he's been up to 99 before, so that is worth noting. And look at his past. Like this is kind of interesting. He started his college career at A&M. He had surgery, and he had his surgery kind of botched, where he had to have his second surgery on some nerve issues. So that's obviously a little concerning. But, you know, we see the fastball working 94, 96. That's good. The slider was sharp. I thought the slider looked really good for Curtis. Missed a lot of bats that way. He has a 90-mile-an-hour cutter. He's like 90, 91 on the cutter. He dropped in a curveball in the upper 70s. He even had a changeup as well. So it's a deep arsenal. He's got a prototypical starter's frame. He moves pretty well on the mound. It's really just all about the command with Khristian Curtis, and he's going to have to see that improve. We didn't see that, but I am curious if we see the improvements there with Curtis. But right now, he was an interesting watch. I'm not like super in on by any means, but a fascinating prospect nonetheless. Now, Jase Bowen had him quite a game. You look at what Jase Bowen did last night, and he was absolutely swinging it. So Jase is somebody that I've loved for a long time. Never really like classified him as like a major leaguer or anything of that nature, but Jase Bowen is interesting. He's older. He's 24. He was in Double-A, and he's on a rehab stint. So gets hurt, goes on rehab. He was in Single-A last week, comes to High-A for this week's rehab. And he had 3 hits. He had a homer and 2 doubles last night. He had a major blunder on the base paths, like just a bad stolen base attempt that led to him getting caught in a pickle and thrown out. But while Bowen's not like a big-time prospect, he is kind of interesting. Like, this is a kid that runs well. He's a good athlete. He's got some pop. Like, back in 2023, Bowen hit 23 homers. I saw him in the AFL that year, 2023, I think, and he was good. Like, I really thought a lot of this guy. And then last year, there were some struggles in Double-A. And then this year, we haven't had a big enough sample to really say for sure, but he certainly looked better in Double-A before the injury. So Jase Bowen, just keep an eye on this guy. It's spelled Jase Bowen. He might be kind of one of these like utility type. He's an outfielder, but he might be one of these guys that can play all over. We've seen him play multiple spots. We've seen him play some infield before. It's been a little while since he played infield, but it's in the bag. It's one of those guys that can maybe be a 4th outfielder type. So Jase Bowen is a fun hitter. Yesterday was certainly a fun day for him. So he should be back in Double-A before long. I don't think he's going to be challenged in High-A this week. He's going to mash. He's always mashed in Greenville every time I've seen him there. Now, the next guy I want to highlight is somebody that like I actually wasn't familiar with. That's Duce Gourson, Duce Gourson. Gourson was a 9th round pick last year out of UCLA. He's pretty fascinating. He's been really good in High this year. I get it. He's a college draftee out of UCLA, a Power 4 school. He should be good. But left-handed bat, he's got a good frame. He runs well. There might be some sneaky pop in that bat. He was interesting. Like, I watched Duce Gourson. I'm like, like, this is a kind of like scrappy little hitter that just makes things happen. He reached base 3 times, had a single, a double, and a walk. He stole a base. He has 20 bags this year in 35 games. He doesn't strike out. Like, you're talking about a high contact profile. It's a near 80% contact rate this year. It's a really good approach for Duce Gourson. And he's got speed. Like, he can run. And ultimately, like, this kid gets like 0 buzz, but I think there might be something interesting here. I'm not saying this is like a stud prospect breaking out, but Duce Gourson can play all over the infield. So check there. You like to see him be able to play multiple spots, and he's got speed. He's a decent athlete, like puts the bat on the ball pretty often. He has good launch angles, gets to the pull side. Let's see what he does in Double-A. Now, again, 22 years old, high A, college draftee. Like it's fine, but Duce Gourson's pretty interesting. I think he should be at least getting a little more respect. So he really caught my eye, and somebody that I'll be monitoring moving forward in the rest of this week. But Javier Rivas of the Pittsburgh Pirates and Greensboro Grasshoppers, this kid's fascinating too. He's had a really good year this year. He's up to 12 home runs early on. He has an 828 OPS. He's got a very high waist, really good frame. He's listed at 6'6". It's every bit of it. Like, he's still got some projection, but again, he'll be 23 at the end of the year. So, like, how much is he going to fill out at this point? He signed all the way back in 2019. But I think we need to note that he was kind of set back by the COVID year. Doesn't make his pro debut until 2021. And COVID probably affected him. Out of Venezuela, like, I don't think there was much ball going on in Venezuela in 2020. So he goes to DSL in 21. He's bad. He goes to the complex in 22. Okay, it was decent. He goes back to the complex in 23 as a 20-year-old, and then bumps to single A, and was bad in single A. Last year, it was all single A and some high A, where the results just weren't there. But this year, like, he looks like a different hitter. And I look like what's changed in the profile. He's cut the K rate substantially. The contact rate's up pretty notably, and it's still bad. Like, contact rates are still below average. Hyper aggressive approach for Rivas, so you got to watch that. He swings it a lot in and out of the zone, so a little bit of concern there. But there's some sneaky pop in this profile. It's a really good frame. He's a decent little runner, I'd say, for his size. He played over at third base last night and looked all right. Like, I was like, okay. He had 1 hit. He struck out once. Like, it was nothing like eye-popping, but like, Rivas has been one of those guys that's kind of been popping on the data, and I hadn't seen him in a while. So, like, to see him, it's like, okay, this kid's grown. Like, he's huge. Maybe he doesn't fill out at this point, but I don't know. It's somebody just to watch and keep a close eye on, I guess. So I'm saying Javier Rivas, third base. He's played some shortstop. I guess he's playing a lot less shortstop now that Konnor Griffin's up with this team. That's kind of primarily where he was, but I'm not sure we'll be getting reps much there anymore. So Javier Rivas, Pittsburgh Pirates. I know there's a lot of Pirates talk, but that's what I saw, and I always like to talk through it. It's helpful for me to talk through it. Hopefully it's helpful for you too to hear my perspective of what I saw with my eyes. So those are the scouting reports on what stood out. We'll be back. Carlson Reed on Thursday. See some other guys throughout the week. So that's what you need to know. Thanks for tuning in. Be back with you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe. Hope you have a great day.